Okay, perfect. Welcome to the first Town and Gown committee meeting. Before we get started, I have to do the election of the chair. I did send out an email earlier just asking everyone to start thinking about that. So I'm wondering, are there any nominations for election of the chair?
I nominate Raylan.
Are there? Do you accept that nomination, Raylan? Okay,
Happy to.
perfect. Is there any nominations for vice chair? You can always nominate someone who's not here. Mr. Frank's not here. Anyone else?
I would nominate myself for vice.
Okay, perfect. So I assume you
I'll
accept.
second that.
Yeah, I assume you accept that. Amazing. Okay, so Raylan, you will be chair. I do have a copy of the roadmap for you, so that will help you.
Thank you. Okay, good thing I have a pen. Thank you.
No problem. So we can just start at, the roll's been taken, so you can go number 3.
Okay, thank you. So, are there any declarations of conflict of interest?
No.
Seeing none, we'll move on to item 4, which would be presentations or delegations, which there are none for today. And the next item would be items for consideration. So we do have an item on the floor, 5.1, which is Town and Gown Advisory Committee next steps. Can I get a mover and a seconder to put item 5.1 on the floor? I'll move that.
I'll second that.
Seconded by
Sean
Sean.
McAllister.
Sorry, I guess we already accepted the agenda, or did we? Can we do some introduction? Is that okay? Can I insert that in there? Cool. Okay, I'll start with myself, maybe. I'm Raylan Arumbro, the CEO and Chief Librarian of the Brantford Public Library. I was briefly on the former iteration of the Town and Gown for like one meeting, I think. So excited to see where this goes, and we'll just go to the right.
Thanks, Raylan. Beth Gurney, Director of Communications and Community Engagement for the Brantford campus, and I was not on the previous iteration of Town and Gown. So,
Sean McAllister. I'm on the executive of the Downtown BIA, and I also own the Academy of Music and Performance on King Street.
I'm Emma Vokes. I'm the deputy clerk here, but I am the clerk for this committee.
Amy Brandt, the initiatives coordinator with the strategic initiatives team at City of Brantford.
I'm Aaron Walsh. I'm with the City of Brantford. I'm Director of Strategic Initiatives.
Michael Bradley, Chief Administrative Officer for the City of Brantford.
Mandy Salmon, Ward 5 City Councilor and Council liaison on this committee.
Kevin Davis, Mayor of the City of Brantford.
And online we have, starting with, sorry, I can't read that.
Sinan?
Yes, thank you. Perfect. Pleasure to meet you all. My name is Sinan Sharma. I am the Dean of Students at Conestoga College.
And Sego Seguego, my name is Nancy Miracle, and I am the Director of Student Affairs at Six Nations Polytech.
Thanks, everybody, for indulging me deviating from the agenda. So back to item 5.1. I do think we have David Frank somewhere in the vicinity.
There he is.
Okay.
Sorry.
No worries. Well, actually, we just did introductions, David, so if you want to round us out, then that's
okay. David Prang with the Chamber of Commerce, Brantford Branch, and I've been on 2 other Town and Gown committees, one in Brantford and one in Waterloo when I was a student there.
Thank you. So we do have an item on the floor, as I mentioned, 5.1 Town and Gown Advisory Committee next steps. It's been moved by Beth and seconded by Sean. So the next thing is do we want to talk about it? Are there, do I read out the whole resolution? Is that a thing to do? Okay.
Not unless someone would like to hear it.
Okay.
Yeah.
anybody want to hear me read the resolution? Does everybody have it in front of them? Do you want to hear me? Okay. So, be it resolved that report number 2025-333 Town and Gown Advisory Committee next step shall be received, and that staff be directed to procure a third-party consultant to support the Town and Gown Advisory Committee in the development of a 2-year Town and Gown action plan to be presented to the City Council by the end of 2025, and that the cost of developing the Town and Gown action plan be funded from the council priorities reserve not to exceed $10,000, and that the Town and Gown Advisory Committee mandate attached as Appendix A, which I will not be reading, be approved, and that the Town and Gown Advisory Committee be scheduled to meet 3 times per year, and that Chapter 26, the boards and advisory committees, be amended to add the Schedule 26 Town and Gown Advisory Committee, and that the necessary bylaw be presented to City Council for adoption. So that is the item that is on the floor. Do we have any discussion?
I guess I just had a question in regards to the need for a consultant and need the consultant to make the action plan.
Yeah, so through the chair, Aaron Wallace, Director of Strategic Initiatives with the City of Brantford. I am your staff liaison to this committee. So I'd provide a couple of considerations to the committee. One would be a third-party consultant would ensure that there's equal voice for all the perspectives and the participant member organizations. Certainly there's a lot of big institutions here, and so having a third-party consultant is going to allow a couple of things for that conversation to be very open and transparent around what this Town and Gown Committee hopes to achieve. It won't be prejudicial towards any particular organization, let's say if it were me, and as with my City of Brantford business card. It would also, I think, provide an opportunity to talk about scopes. Many of the actions I anticipate being brought forward, maybe within the scope of the post-secondary sector or the municipal sector or the private sector. And this would allow us to procure a consultant with some expertise in that, who could lay out the action plan with equal voice at the table, but also do it in a way where there is some reporting structure in terms of who has what scope or oversight for which piece of the action.
I guess I have a question on the timing. That it's before council by the end of 2025, is that, and I think it says somewhere that we're gonna have 3 meetings in a year. Is it really necessary to take almost an entire year? Or I guess now we're in June, okay, like 5 months, so.
So through the chair, just to build on that, so there is no council meetings in July. So
That's
what
right.
happened with this advisory recommendations as it's resolved by this committee, they would show up in council in August, be ratified at the end of August. So then we'd be trying to pull this group together for that session, probably in October by the time we procure a consultant. So
Okay.
the 2025 seems a long distance away, but just kind of doing the work backs on it, that is probably reasonable.
Yeah, I kind of caught that in my own brain there. I'm gonna answer. All right, thanks.
So just a question about the mandate piece. I know it's our first meeting, it's June, so the 3 student reps aren't at the table. I wonder if it's better to consider approving the mandate tonight with the opportunity to revisit it, or are we best to table it until we have the student reps at the table? I just feel like there's such an integral part of the discussion that I don't know the general consensus is on that.
Through the chair, I may defer to the clerk in terms of procedurally how that could work, and then the committee can make a determination.
So through the chair, you can approve the mandate tonight if the committee here is agreeable to the mandate. And then when the students come back, hopefully by our next meeting, they can add any additions to the mandate just through a resolution, or sorry, an amendment to what's on the floor.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, that process is designed so that they'll have a considerable amount of input into what it is that the facilitator will be doing, right?
Through the chair, that's correct. We anticipate those reps would be available in the full, to be a fulsome part of that conversation.
And they'll be in place and fully immersed in what they're doing, what they want to do by the time that facilitator's up and running. There's like a kind of coincides and synchronizes. So when the facilitator in place up and running, students being up and running too in terms of being able to provide meaningful input. Hopefully.
Any comments or questions online? On the spot.
Just through you, the chair, I was wondering the same about our student organization and if I can help facilitate that that connection if needed. So just making a comment.
Thank you. All right, seeing no other comments or questions or discussion on the motion. Can I see by show of hands, all those in favor for item 5.1? Everyone?
Yep, that item carries.
Next up, we have on the agenda consent items, which there are none. There are also no other resolutions before us and no notices of motion. So adjournment is the final item if there's no other discussion. All right, so do we need a motion to adjourn the meeting? Or
No,
do we
we
get
don't.
to do that?
Yep.
Okay, we're adjourned at 5:12.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Pleasure to meet you.
You as well.